recently heard this idea of ability versus access. And if you've connected with me before, you may have heard me talk about character versus capacity, and it's the same idea. So it's expanding the concept that, sometimes we hear the idea when you know better, you do better. And what I offer is when your nervous system has low capacity, you might not be able to act according to your values or according to your knowledge or according to your understanding. And that is a way of thinking about how we present ourselves in terms of our character. But when we think about abilities, it's the same deal. The nervous system capacity really influences whether you have access to your abilities, including things like being able to shower regularly, all the way to being able to do algebra or write a paragraph. The person I saw referencing this was talking about in a school setting that a kiddo was able to write a whole paragraph one day, and then the next day was experiencing a lot of dysregulation, was just didn't have the capacity, and was not able to write at all. And some people call that a regression, and it's not a true regression if the ability is still there but just not accessible. So you know I guess a regression is one way of framing it, but regression has a negative connotation to it. And so I like thinking about it's just the ability is not, there's not access to it, right? This person still has the connections in their brain to be able to write a paragraph, but maybe so under capacity or overstimulated that is another way to say it, that they're not able to access that ability. So it doesn't mean it's gone. Like a skill loss might come through a stroke or a brain injury, right? A regression, I guess, is when you're not accessing that consistently. But I would love to call it just, you know, you don't have access to it. It's not available. So, for example, there are certain people that I have the skill to be really calm in conflict and articulate myself well and really come from a place of my values and my heart connection. And then there's other people that, because of history or other circumstances, maybe they're in a position of authority or power over me in that dynamic, that I have less access to those communication skills because my nervous system gets scared and my access to the language center goes offline. So, something really just to offer yourself and others that if someone is not doing something you think they should be able to do, to consider that they may not have access to it. And if you're in a moment where you're not having access to something that you think you should be able to do, considering offering, hey, it looks like I don't have access to that. What can I do to support my nervous system right now and to bring grace to this moment? Knowing that if I don't have access to it, I don't have access to it. And the shame and the criticism is going to deepen that gap between what we have access to and what we don't have access to. Okay, lots of love.